You're watching a Seedling series. I'm Corinne Green, the art director of Seedlings magazine, and I will be interviewing a series of artists, designers, and thinkers whose work is featured in our magazine. Hope you enjoy. Hello. This is Gia.
Hi.
I'm Corinne from Seedlings. You haven't met me yet, but this is me. I'm now the... Will, what did we call it? I think
You like asking him like
I'm
he's
the
there.
art director or
Oh,
something like
God,
that.
I know.
This is the first interview. We're in Gia's home.
Yeah. This is the home studio.
The home studio.
The creative hut, quite literally.
The creative hut. And we'll drop your mother's brand too.
Yep. There we go. A little bit of marketing in there.
A little bit of marketing. So, I've got a few questions. They're my own.
Amazing.
And I've got a question from my 13-year-old sister, who's turning 13 next week. I'm so bad with social media. I think when you're we'll link it back to the magazine. When you, like we were saying earlier, we've just had a whole podcast basically without
we
doing
definitely
this.
should have recorded.
We should have recorded that. But the idea of something being physical and real, it's so much more appealing to me than social media. But
well, the thing with social media is you put it out there, might get a few likes, but
then it's out there, isn't it? Though?
Yeah,
and then you can't use it again.
No, yeah, exactly. And it's like if you've used it in one way, say if I just posted some of my images to Instagram, then I can't go and send them to an editorial.
No, you can't because it's already there and you've already used it, etc., etc.
It's
That's
a
rubbish.
strange little game, this social media. But I'm having a bit of fun trying it out.
Yeah, it's a cruel mistress because you're like, I need the attention from. You want to build up a social status, but then you don't want to use. You have to use your back catalogue.
Yeah.
But then you want to promote the stuff you want to then do.
Yeah,
so it's that weird. I keep losing my. I need to get a clipboard.
I think we have
the
one
more
around here
the more I
somewhere.
do this, the more professional it's going to get.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. This is already great. I feel like I'm on a real podcast.
I'm Corinne Green and this is my podcast.
And I'm Gia Jones and this is my creative hut. We've got gin. We have it all.
We have gin. Well, we won't be partaking in that
We
yet.
should
Not
next
yet. We should have that next time.
Next
it should
time.
be a drunk podcast.
We'll do a special.
So we haven't got very long because we're actually going to go out for a pint. I'm going to start with the questions. So I'll introduce you. So you are a brilliant... I've actually got a full introduction that I haven't printed out.
Have you?
I will pre-record that and add
you
it.
can like do a little...
Because
or
maybe I should read it to you. Because I feel like it's a nice, it's a lovely, I'm chatting with the fabulous Gia. Gia is a London-based film photographer capturing the raw, rebellious spirit of the 1960s and 70s with a modern twist. Gia's work blends nostalgic energy with contemporary view on beauty, fragility and masculinity. Her photography is a journey that is free-flowing and captures snapshots of how she experiences life. Her imagery was organic, full of life and charmingly beautiful.
Oh, that's so
That was your introduction. Okay, so I've just taken things from the bio you sent me, so I've just reworded it.
Okay, amazing.
Just to ask you, but we'll probably go off script. Seedlings are all about growth and transformation. How did your journey into film photography begin? Was there a seed moment in your life that made you feel that this was your calling? Big questions.
It's a lovely question, actually. I love it when people ask me questions. Okay, so I think I was growing up always taking photos.
Yeah.
It was more like everything creative I wanted to be involved in. So whether it was acting, we went to acting classes together for like how many years, but
shout out to us to Stanford. Another shout out.
But yeah, so whether it was like painting, drawing, literally anything that I could get my hands involved with was like, that was where it was for me. And then obviously going to art school. Yeah. And then like playing with all mediums, figuring out kind of where my skill set was best and all that kind of stuff. And I actually went into like fashion design because I've always been very into aesthetics and beauty and like this kind of not perfection, but like a story, I guess. So when I found out that I kind of wanted to write more about it and like photograph it and be part of it in that sense, that's kind of when I started thinking maybe film, video, that kind of stuff. Ended up videoing for fashion brands and kind of got a bit bored with digital. I was like, should I go back into doing photography? Because I remember experimenting with it at art school and loving it.
Because they had a darkroom in Boa, didn't they, as well? There was a darkroom at some point in Boa, but I don't know whether you were there.
It was when Darcy was there.
Oh, no!
Yeah,
No.
so I missed it.
Oh,
so
rubbish.
I had not, like, experimented with film at all. But we'd done things like image transferring onto fabrics, and I think that's kind of why I wanted to get involved with the design element. But it was just about storytelling and creating things from, like, you know, I was a huge Pinterest girl, like, growing up, and I would find things and then try and recreate them. And then I started finding, like, these images from, like, the 60s, the 70s, the rock stars, getting into, like, you know, I was in the music kind of atmosphere in Birmingham,
it connects
like
very
the Sunflower
closely.
Lounge. I was just saying this, as like a creative, you kind of have so many different outlets, and then it's just about kind of, I always say it was a choice. Like it didn't find me necessarily, I found it. It was like I had so many things.
Well, it was a calling. It was like leading you into that.
Well, I was doing the videography, and I was kind of like, I really want to start doing something more tangible. And my mum bought me a film camera.
Yes.
And
Nice.
the film camera, it was like this beautiful old one. I don't even know the name of it. It was just like from a vintage shop or something. And so I took my first roll and it came out completely blank. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, like this is
That's a
so
part
much
of
money.
it,
But it made me so like eager to get a roll like done properly. So I
was it already in
camera.
the camera, or did you buy it?
No, so I bought the roll, the film roll, and loaded it in and stuff. It was 35mm, and then I realised the camera was broken. It wasn't me.
No.
So, but that curiosity had already begun. So I guess that was the seed moment. It was like this broken camera. I was
it's
like,
not
I've got
working.
to figure it out.
Frustrating.
But yeah, and then I kind of just made a choice. I was like, what do I want to do next? I had this life moment where I was in between jobs. I was kind of in between life things. I was basically having a quarter-life crisis, really.
Yeah, as we all do.
Yeah, and I was like, I really want to put my heart and soul into something. And so I kind of chose more, actually, rather than just photography, it was film that interested me. It was like, I want to know every little detail about creating a photograph. And it's something that I'll never stop learning. So the last few years, it's been all about the darkroom, perfecting my skills. It's not really been about getting clients.
No.
But I've done the move to London, and I've like figured out the darkroom, and I just love it. I'm just insanely like in love with the process.
That it shows as well. It does show when you your work's so beautiful, and it's so, you can tell like you come through in the imagery, like knowing you. We haven't seen each other since college, and we reconnected through your mother's company, and she just got us on an email thread, and we've been emailing like best buddies.
We've been like little pen pals.
Yeah, it's so cute. I'd see an email from you.
Yeah, I know, when Corin comes up, I'm like,
no, same. I was like, oh,
I have
so
to like wait to reply, because I'm like, it has to be a good reply.
Oh,
so I'm going to like wait while I'm out and busy, and then I'm going to get home and send her a good email.
Felt like I was like in Sex and the City or something.
I know,
or like Bridget Jonesy. Yeah.
I love it.
Very, very Carrie Bradshaw. Okay, you've basically answered all my questions.
All the questions.
No, you're great. You can tell when someone's so inspired by what they do, because they just like it doesn't. Well, you don't need to think about it. It just reels off.
It's like the whole life, isn't it? It's like you just literally asking me about my life.
Yeah, it so is that because it becomes not a separate thing. It becomes your whole existence.
The whole thing. It's like whatever I do in my normal day life, it's got something to do with my life nowadays.
Well, the way you dress, the way you take yourself out, the way you research, the cheeky name change. I don't know this, GIA. We won't mention your previous name, which is not that far. It sounds awful, but it's not that far away from
the last 3 letters of my real name, guys.
It's cool neighborhood. So we're readjusting. Do you feel that you embody what you see in your imagery? Ooh. I think you do. Yeah,
I do, and I don't. I mean, a lot of it is because I don't feel that way myself, and I'm quite curious about an emotion or you know, like a scenario or an event, and I'm kind of like wanting to learn more about it, and I put myself into it that way, I find. And then it becomes me in a way. So you're like reflecting yourself back at it, and then you're
figuring out different interests through that.
I
That's
mean,
so interesting.
I see something and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's really got nothing to do with me yet. It's just when I kind of create that body of work, it's then entwined into me as an artist.
So it's more like curiosity then.
Yeah, curiosity, learning. Like I think it's so important to always be learning. So when I kind of finish a body of work, like with the cabaret stuff, I was very interested in like the 20s and how that all kind of comes into now. And the artist Claude Cahone did these incredible self-portraits, and you know, one of the first non-binary people. Story's quite incredible, and just this amazing photographer who did these like self-portraits that would combine like masculinity and femininity. So until I really started researching and getting into that, it was really nothing to do with me.
Okay.
It was just an idea, and now it's like this is a huge part of my work.
Yeah, amazing.
Like,
that's so interesting. It does happen like that though, I think. But I never thought about it that way.
It leads to other things as well. So like when you get really interested about something and start learning about it, and it opens up like new little areas that connect with other interests. So yeah, it's there already, but I think it just comes out once you've done the work.
But then I feel like then you've embodied it within yourself, like the way you've always dressed very well. And
the way that I probably showcase these things is through my own style
aesthetic,
and experience. But it's taken a while to know what my style is. Like that has just grown, I'd say, in the last few months.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I think you've always had an edgy,
I think the
vintage
way I dress,
vibe.
but like through my photography, I think it's very difficult as an artist to not want to kind of do everything. And I was doing like colour, black and white, and you know, doing all these different fashion shoots, bit of econ, like a little bit of everything. And it wasn't until I was like, so this is what I love. And this is what I'm going to do. It's people, it's stories, it's fashion, it's black and white. And I put everything into it, and it's kind of now developed into my style.
Amazing.
But
I love that.
It should have always been that.
No, but you need those experiences to be able to get to where you want to go, and where what lights you up, what gives you joy. Okay, again, it's quite poignant to what we're saying. Your work channels the spirits of icons like Mick Jagger, Jimi Hendrix. What drew you to that rebellious glam rock feeling of the 60s and 70s?
Oh, that's such a good question. I could go on about it for
days. I know, honestly, same. It's so glam rock cool.
Yeah,
I love
the fashion, just the way that these rock stars live. I've always wanted to be a rock star. I can't sing. I'm like musically untalented.
Who doesn't want to be a rock star?
But I just grew up with this like love for these rock bands. Thing is, because growing up, like my dad, he very into his music, and I mean, I've got Pink Floyd lyrics tattooed on my legs. Because amazing. I mean, we'd be in his car and like driving down the road, and I was like 4, and I'd say, "Daddy, can you put on the clock song?" Time by Pink Floyd.
That's so cute.
And I think just kind of like growing up watching like Californication with Hank Moody, and like I don't know, just these people that can party hard, live this crazy free life. Make it look so easy
and glamorous. It's all the rebellion,
the nightlife. It's the aesthetic.
The glamour too of the glitz. But the
poetry that's come out of the music as well, like things that they wrote about and these different times that we won't ever be part of.
But we can try. We can
try.
We all try.
We can try. Everything comes back like 30 years around, but you know, those times were a lot different. It was all about freedom and like trying to find peace and that kind of stuff. So it was a completely different time, and like it was a time when social media did not exist. So everyone was kind of in a way more free. There was no one to document the things that you get cancelled for.
No. So just the odd picture on a weird film camera. Or maybe someone had a video camera, but not really.
Years later. But I've always found it very interesting. Lyrics to the songs. A lot of Bob Dylan, a lot of Pink Floyd.
Super storytelling time as well with music.
Storytelling, So it creates this kind of image, this world that we're not part of, but they were, and it's just like that's it really. It's this aesthetic that I've always loved and always wanted to be part of, but I could not handle it.
No, do you think?
Probably not the like
no the
late nights.
No. But there also is like this gender element to it. I think the big rock stars always they embodied this masculine energy, but there was also this feminine energy with the way they dress, and they.
Same with like female artists. Like
yes,
like Patti Smith, one of my favourites.
Oh, I love her.
All of her books.
Me too. Yeah, I love her to bits.
Yeah, she's incredible, and her relationship with Robert Mapplethorpe.
Don't even get me
started. And I've actually just managed to get one of his like big photo books for like £60.
Oh wow.
Found it.
I've got a print, but that's still like.
But here's why. I think I'm just very inspired by something that like maybe I can't be or can't do or can't have. But like being able to recreate it, I can have it.
Yes.
Like I can recreate that world in my own way. So it just interests me, and the lives that they lived, and you know, like the Andy Warhol diaries. When I watched that, I was like, that's what drew me to the cabaret in a weird way, because I was like, how these artists are creating their own persona, and it's like it's a mask, and it's like this persona that's not really theirs, but they create it. And it becomes theirs, and they're able to create this whole world around it, and I just love that. I love it.
We love to see it. We love to see it. Okay, you mainly work in black and white. We've touched on this. Yeah. You've mainly worked in black and white. Do you like having to work in this medium? I personally find it easier to have work with some constraints in my own work. Yeah. Do you like that restriction? I can imagine you tend to focus more on texture, light and shade more. When doing black and white, is that true? I was just curious.
I focus a lot on the composition.
Okay.
So like I look at something, obviously I get this idea, it was all set up, shoot, it was just basically, you know, street photography. People doing their thing, and it was very
living
much
their
just like,
lives.
how can I get them to pose to make the most out of this composition, and where am I going to place them, and you know, where am I going to angle it, and where's the light, and that kind of thing. With black and white, for me, I kind of, in a weird way, see the world in that way.
Yes,
it's very black and white to me. And I don't like to faff around with colour.
No,
I'm a big, like, I think, again, my mom had a big influence on this. I'm not sure if you've seen the house.
Yes, it's all black and white pictures.
Yeah, I mean, the furniture, it's all white.
Yeah.
My whole life has been this kind of, we don't like colour, which is crazy because my mum's branding is bright yellow.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so it's, I've always loved the black and white imagery, and how they didn't have colour years and years ago.
Yeah.
Photography started in black and white, and that's where I wanted to start as well.
Why not?
I'm not saying that I will never shoot colour. I've actually been quite interested in some artists, some artwork that I've seen that is colour, and I've been quite like, I could maybe start working in it.
Yeah.
But it's also about the process. So the dark room, the actual hand printing, it's a very different process with colour. And for me, it was very important to get really, really good at something that I love. And then carry on learning about other things. I think the kind of work that I do, black and white fits really well with it.
It does, it's very nostalgic, I think.
It's
even though we didn't grow up with black and white photography, it does have that essence
it
of it.
feels better for me, and it's like I find that you can focus more on the emotion rather than being distracted with some of the colours. To me, it just feels better. Yes. I have shot in colour. I've used the great Portra 400, but I don't think it has that magic for me.
No, there is something about black and white photography and the whole process. I think it's the idea that someone's had to touch that. It's like magic, isn't it? Like you just see. It's like magic.
The wet printing is my favourite part.
That's so cool. The videos you do are so fun.
I love watching my images come to life. It's actually, I still can't get my head around it.
No, it is miraculous. I love it.
But it's probably my favourite day when I get a whole day in the dark room, for sure. I'd like my own lab one day.
Oh, yeah, I would love to see you do it.
So if you assist me.
Oh please, I would love to. It's always been something I've wanted to try and I've just never done.
It's a really, really great thing to do. Even if you're doing it as like just for fun, as a hobby, it's a great thing to see how it all works. It's crazy.
To me.
It is magic.
Like you can go from something this big on film to just these huge portraits.
I want to start getting into like printing really like large prints.
Again, film photography is such a hands-on medium. What's your process like at the moment? Do you get the idea, an idea to the final edit? Do you have any rituals that help you get into the creative zone? So that's quite kind of like two things.
Right. So rituals.
Yeah.
stress myself out.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Oh, that's a hard question. Like, so say if I was going on a shoot.
Yeah, do you have anything?
Because obviously I shoot different things. So like whether it's a brand fashion kind of shoot, or whether I'm kind of going somewhere and capturing more street photography.
Maybe just your personal stuff at the minute.
So with say like St. Paul de Vence, it was. I really get quite nervous to ask strangers if I can photograph them.
Oh, sure, okay. I was going to ask about that. Yeah, like the permission of it. That
was a great way to get into it, and it was all these amazing like people that I was just seeing that looked really interesting, and I kind of went up to them and said, "Can I like take your photograph?" And the answer I kept getting was why.
Oh,
and I was like, wow. So I had to kind of explain why. But it kind of came down to the fact that I just was very curious about who they are, what their life story's like. And that's really gained my confidence with talking, even in this kind of scenario. It's really strange. I know that people aren't so scary now. But I think my process with kind of film,
You're a big cafe person though. You go and grab a coffee, grab a
like
a pastry or something. Just in general. I think I like different people have like people when they go on stage.
I love having a glass of wine before I shoot.
Alcohol is the key.
It's terrible.
Gia's
photography.
You heard it first.
I maybe don't come across as it, and I hope I don't, but I get quite anxious before a shoot.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's just because I care so much.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, I want to do the best job. Obviously, with film, you don't really back it up.
No.
It could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Anytime. It
could have been. It could be a waste the whole day, but that's kind of part of it, isn't it?
But I think
makes it
when
special.
when you love something so much, you kind of are going to get nervous in any case. But I find like a little shot or like a little glass of wine, it really helps. So I try not to shoot in the morning.
We love to hear. We love to hear a bit of honesty.
Try and get an early night. It never happens. I always
you're always too stressed out early night.
But yeah, no, I do go and get a coffee. I have a little morning cigarette and a coffee.
Yeah.
Set up all my equipment. Yeah, make sure I've got everything prepared. I always like to print stuff out.
Yeah. The real.
Yeah, I usually write a little story just for myself or for the model or whoever I'm working with about kind of like what kind of world we're creating.
What vibe, what experience, what story you want to tell.
Also, like the process and my kind of routine with it changes every shoot, so it's really hard to say. Because some days will be completely different to others. I mean, a few weeks ago I was doing like an editorial portrait, and it was very last minute. It just had to be done, and I didn't know where I was really meeting them, and I was like, oh, okay, so we'll just meet here. And so I turned up, grabbed a quick coffee, and I had like 15 minutes to go and location scout.
Oh.
And at the same time as like meeting someone for the first time, having to focus on like your camera and all the technical things. Yeah, it can be really mad, but it's like...
It is. Well, you just saw me, I was a wreck. And I know you. And it's just
maybe I
get a bit...
It's crazy. It's a great process though, because you're kind of living on the edge a little bit all the time. You're like, how is this going to go? But a glass of wine always helps, before and after.
And after, especially after.
And I love going for a drink with like, the people I've been working with and debriefing and
of course.
Kind of, and then you gain that relationship as well. And the next time you work together, it seems to be even more magic because you kind
just
of
friends and you know what each other want. I
and you can communicate better and I love that part. The part where you've kind of like worked with a group of great like talent, and then you'll kind of become friends and you work together again, lovely. And so that's one of my favourite parts of it.
They say don't work with friends, but I basically just work with.
I think it's I'm not going to say anymore.
No. Okay, we've talked about the darkroom. I won't talk to you about that anymore. If you could plant, I'm playing on words here. If you could plant a seed in anyone's mind when they see your work, what would you hope it grows into?
Oh, if I could plant a seed, I think curiosity and like imagination.
Yes, lovely.
I think just like explore what you love.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, I think just be really open about what you love. Don't ever think you're cringy. That's like, I live by the fact that I'm a massive cringe ball. My sister will say the same. All my friends will be like, yeah, she's terrible. She'll tell me she loves me about 10 times a day. I'm like the most cringe human, but it's fine. And I think that's like, just go and do it all. Yeah. It's like, you really do.
Oh, that's a lovely seed. That's a lovely seed to plant.
We like seeds.
Your work challenges conventional beauty and celebrates individuality. What has inspired you to focus on themes of vulnerability and freedom? We kind of discussed this, but
so I think, especially within today's world, it's kind of like everyone's a little bit confused about you know who they can be, who they want to be. It's not so structured. It's very like, you know, you can be and do anything. Yeah. But then that's quite scary as well. It is. Yeah.
It's almost limiting in itself, because you could do so much that you become tunnel vision because you've got so much.
I find that, and a lot of people that I talk to, they say to me, "You're so lucky that you've kind of found your passion and you're working in it and you're doing what you do." And I'm kind of like, I've just made a choice.
Yeah, I just settled for one thing.
Yeah, I was just like, this is going to be it. Aww. And I mean, I dabble in other things, but it's like, this is my main focus. But with like vulnerability, it's like, I feel like a lot of people hide their emotions, and art is one of the best ways to kind of like show it. And I was very, very interested in that kind of masculinity and femininity. And I've just always found it very interesting on how it can be combined, especially in fashion. I love seeing all these, like, I mean, I love wearing just a plain black suit and coming across more like masculine when I'm at these events and things. But yeah, I think freedom is a massive one as well, like in the 60s and 70s. Huge, and but yeah, it's become kind of a little bit more difficult nowadays with social media, with kind of everyone feeling like, should I be doing more? Should I really embrace who we are as people and like let our real emotions out rather than like hiding behind what we think we need to be.
Very lovely, lovely, gorgeous. Aside from photography, you also write, which we've talked about. How do you think these two forms of expression feed into each other? Are there stories that are better told through an image versus a written piece?
Oh, I've been writing for a really long time. So I've been writing in my journal every day since I was like a little kid, and I still do it every single day. Well, I try to. Busier days and hangover days, not so good. Not so good.
Sometimes that's where the best content comes in.
I like them when they're together.
Yeah.
There's nothing more interesting to me than a photograph that has got a written piece next to it. Yeah. And that's going against everything everyone says about photos telling a story. And I completely, I do agree with that to a certain extent.
Because you want the audience to kind of have their own...
It's got to evoke emotion. But I'm not necessarily trying all the time to tell a whole story through a photograph. I would love it to
do that,
yeah, or if it just inspires someone, that's fine. But I think reading like the Patti Smith books, having her little Polaroids, next to like this kind of weird mixture of reality
and poetically
and like dream state, like you can never tell if it's real or not.
No, you can't.
Is this
it's so beautiful? It's so beautiful.
And having just like this weird grainy black and white image that you can't tell what it is next to this story that's like telling you what this is,
the context of it, who was there.
I find that really lovely. But then again, I mean, I prefer with writing. I mean, Patti Smith, one of my favourites, but I've been reading like a lot of non-fiction books and a lot of kind of books about experiences, about emotions, and you know, I love reading about other people's experiences. Yeah, me because too. I really love inspires. Have you read the Matthew McConaughey Green Lights?
No, I haven't.
So good.
I've heard about
this. It's not what you would expect, and it's insane. And I've read it about 7 times,
no.
and I've cried every time.
I love that when you go back to... I do that with the Patti Smith book. Different parts of my life, Just Kids. I go back to that constantly.
That was my first Patti Smith book.
Answers.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You probably would.
It will always change. That's actually what I love about being creative.
Yes, yeah.
Everything changes so quickly.
You can be really into something 1 minute, and then you, like you said, read something in a book, and it completely changes, or something links together.
I mean,
and
my
it's all
style
quite
is constantly changing. Like 1 minute I'm very wearing like pirate clothes.
Yeah,
And then the next minute
we're
I'm
so
like,
similar. It's weird.
Crazy. I don't know. It's 1 minute it's like pajamas and baggy jeans and like artist workwear, and then I'm like in a suit, and it's always changing. But that's what's fun.
But
about
that's
it.
what, you know, as artistic people, that's what we are, isn't it? It's like putting especially because we used to do acting, so I think a big part of my wardrobe is I just basically wear different characters every day.
Yeah, that's what I used
put
to
on a
say.
character every day.
Oh, especially when I go on a night out, I'm like, am I going to be Kate Moss tonight?
Yeah. Creativity can be like a garden, needing care and a variety to thrive. Outside your work, what do you do to keep your creative energy alive?
Oh yeah, so this has been something I've been working on for a very long time.
It's very hard.
So I love night times. I'm a night owl, but I'm really good creatively in the morning. So it's been a bit of a struggle really, because I love going out and socialising. I've got a few places that I go for drinks, and I know quite a few people there. But if I don't get an early night, and if I drink on a night, I'm terrible the next day creatively. Yes, my brain is like a cloud of fog. It's like, what have you done to me? And we're not going to work together today, kind of thing. And sometimes I can push through and be like, we had a great night last night, let's like use it as inspiration. But yeah, most of the time I'm just like a lump.
But you need that part of it. You need the social to. You do need
exactly, and I think like the social element, especially moving to London, it's like it's created this whole new like network list and people that have really inspired me, and I've learned new things, and especially about myself as well. And I've gained confidence, and I mean, I moved to London completely alone, so it was off chance that I found my little local, and it's filled with creatives.
Good. It's always the best place to be.
And it was great how I found it, because I was just on my little... So on a Sunday, when I first moved, I would obviously be a little bit hungover from like my Saturday night out.
Yeah.
And my thought process was that if I walk the whole of Portobello Market on a Sunday, probably the busiest day, it will get me over my hangover.
Oh,
because it's so busy,
sure.
And I will like sweat it all out,
and the frustration of having to walk through people will get you through it.
Idea. So I was like, I'll walk to the end, and I'll walk back, and that's my day. Like my hangover's gone. So I started doing that, and then a few times after doing it, I was like, okay, I'm going to carry on walking because I'm kind of feeling good. I'm like, so I kept walking, and I was walking home, and I stumbled upon this little pub, and it was like completely dead in there, and I was just writing my diary and drinking my Guinness for the first time ever, and the bar guys like kept giving me free Guinnesses because I was sat at the bar
by yourself.
Writing. He was very interested in what I was writing about, and we got chatting, and I just got free Guinness after free Guinness. So obviously it was a Sunday, and I ended up being there till quite late drinking these Guinnesses. I didn't know how strong they were, because I'd never drank them before. And then all the locals started pouring in, and by like
I love a local
7, 8, 9, it was filled. And I just went around, because I drank so much Guinness, making friends. I was like,
hi, June!
I'm new to London. And ever since, it's been like my little local.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go. You're going to have to take me.
I'll take you, but it's great fun.
I'd love to go.
What was the question again? What was
outside of your work, what do you do to keep your creative energy alive?
So basically, try not to be hungover.
But if you are, go for a walk down Portsmouth and drink Guinness till you die again.
A morning walk around Hyde Park every day, and that kind of clears my head.
Yeah, they are. It's
Get
good
a morning
to walk.
coffee. I love to get up and have like a day before my day. Yeah. But I don't like to do work first thing. I kind of like to get up and work. I love what I do, so it doesn't really count. But I like to do all kind of like lively stuff in the morning. I like to feel really fresh and organised, so I put a wash on and all that kind of stuff. Lovely adulty stuff. And then once I've kind of had a day before my day, that's when I'm most creative.
Yeah, because you're like, I feel like I'm inspired to do this now.
Well, no, I just feel like I've got everything done that needs doing.
So there's nothing niggly.
Yeah,
okay.
I get distracted quite easily. I'm quite like this. Like I move between things way too fast. So it helps if I've like done everything in the morning before 9.
Oh wow!
And then I'm like ready to go.
Done.
Yeah,
nice. That's great.
And I like to take like a nice lunch and do something like actually make it a lunch rather than working through it, because I think it's definitely like a life-work balance, especially when you're creative, because you could keep working, keep working,
and if you're working from home as well.
Yeah, and I do tend to do that, like, a lot. I have, like, some plans, like going to the gym or doing something like that, but I just end up working through it. I'm like, I would rather be doing this.
I know, but
yeah, you have to
you
pull
don't burn yourself
away.
out, do you? So you have to keep inspiring yourself. Okay, so. This is a bit more of a general, because I think with Seedlings it's such a creative community and there's so many diverse people over different specialisms, just creative individuals that we were talking about this earlier as well, that we as creative people we usually have one niche, but we go into different avenues and it does go cross specialisms. So I just was saying, what projects are you hoping to create and what kind of collaborations do you see yourself doing in the future? And what would you then hope to create together? Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in your specialism, but just generally. If there's anything that...
Ooh, at the moment I'm doing a lot of collaging. I'm really loving collaging. Yeah. And, I mean, everything I do is by hand at the moment, so obviously the film really process is really, like, tangible, and that's lovely. But the collaging aspect and actually creating little films from it, I really like that idea at the moment. Nice. Another one is I actually would like to direct some really short films. Lovely. Like very short with no audio. Like no talking.
Gosh.
Yeah, very like atmospheric, kind of like a very short story. It doesn't even have to be about anything, just kind of this like character.
Nice.
Like, that's something I'm really quite interested in at the moment, creating characters. Okay. And like just giving them like a little snippet of like a life.
Yeah.
Like literally a few seconds. But yeah, that would be something that I'd like to do. I mean, there's great photographers I'd love to work with. I mean, Nadine Cohen.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
the characters that she creates. Yeah. I would love to direct maybe like a little short film for her.
The photographs.
That would be crazy. That would be a dream.
Yeah.
But it's very different to what I create. So it's like that. Our styles are completely different, but I'm just so interested in her work. The way she actually creates these characters, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, she completely transforms herself.
I know, and it's like this whole different world. So maybe doing something along those lines. I mean, there's so many people I would love to work with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's just interesting to know, because then if someone else watches this and they're like, oh, I do this, it would just be nice to collaborate in somewhere.
Any kind of... I'm loving, like, film narratives and kind of creating character at the moment. So if there was anything like that going on, be very interested.
Drop a message to Gia.
Like editorial stuff I love doing. Love photographing that stuff. I'm wanting to work with like movement directors at the moment.
Oh, love.
Yeah. So like some really like not creepy I'd say, but some just like weird stuff.
Or like a dancer maybe even.
Well, I have just met a movement director who is like a professional ballerina. Characters and how they're created, because they're literally just like come from imagination. And I think that's something I'm really interested in as well, because I have these really vivid weird dreams most nights.
Yeah.
And I can remember them.
Yeah.
I could probably draw them.
Yeah.
I'd never died in a dream until like a few months ago, and then I started like
it's
actually
terrifying.
dying, and it would go like fuzzy, and I'd wake up and I thought I was in the hospital bed on one of them, and it was like an old TV, but I could like draw these dreams, so I would love to maybe start actually writing them down.
Wow,
I can still remember them. I've just never written them down. I'm writing a book.
Yes, we haven't discussed this yet, because I'm writing a play.
I know.
But when we were emailing, we found out that we were both writing.
Yeah.
So what is your... do you want to give us a sneaky peek?
Oh, not many people.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Well, if you... So I started writing a book because I've got all my journals, and I was like, I'd love to do something with them, and I'd love to include the photographs that I haven't done as like a shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've just taken my camera to the pub on nights out and like to different things, and these photos are beautiful. And I've taken them to festivals, to the summer solstice at Stonehenge, like all different things. Yeah. They'll never be seen. Yeah. And I just thought it would be lovely to like have a piece full of experiences, full of like my journey as an artist, and to include my photographs in that. And I was taking kind of my journals and just like rewriting them basically. Writing it, still on my laptop.
I love
but
that.
I've like archived it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of had a better idea.
Oh.
And
it's always something to be working on.
Yeah, so you know, like when I moved to London, I was kind of by myself, and you know, I've like been working on my photography and all sorts, and making new friends and having all these like experiences that I did not think would happen. It actually feels like a different life. Dark humour.
Okay.
It's gonna
we
be
love
quite
a bit
wild.
Of dark humour. Oh.
It's gonna like really like work with the rock and roll vibes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Selected the one that is reflection in the mirror, and the second one that was in a cafe or something through the glass. Tudor.
Tudor
Yes.
was a great model. He'd never modelled before.
Tudor.
It was just like a fun little shoot that we did.
I love that, but I love how personal it is, and how it's. I just love the depth of it.
I'm so excited. I was really hoping those photos would eventually get some sort of.
Because I love the fact. I think we should use those for the summer.
And which one was the other one?
The one in the cafe with the glass.
Yeah, he's amazing. Nice. I work with him a lot. Yeah. He's part of the Neck Breakers. Shout out Neck Breakers. They're an amazing
We're doing
band.
a lot of drops here.
Yeah, they're an incredible band. They're doing so well. So that'll be lovely as well. I will let him know.
So, do you have like anything you want to say about those? Any stories you have behind them, or how that went?
Me and Max, we kind of like became friends because of Tudor.
Okay.
So you've chosen like the two ones that link.
I just thought they look quite nice together because it's both reflective.
Well, Tudor I met at the Blue Post in Soho on a night out, and I was reading Pastor Smith Just Kids. Right.
Classic.
In the pub with my friends. I was sat there with my book, and I look at the front, and I look at Robert Mapplethorpe, and I look at him, and I'm like,
can you be mine?
You look very similar.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need this guy to model for me.
Yeah.
So I went up to the bar and I just asked him. I was like, would you be interested in like me taking some photos?
They're giving that vibe actually.
Yeah, and he lives that lifestyle. Yeah. Like he's so fucking We had a great time doing the shoot. We spent all day together just as like mates and hanging out. And then that night he took me to the Troubadour.
Okay, yes.
Which is like where Jimi Hendrix played and Bob Dylan. And he took me to see a live gig there. And I met Max. And I had taken, I think, one photo of him on my film camera during the evening.
Nice.
And so I got in touch with him to send it him. And I was like, if you ever fancy doing a shoot, you've got like the look I'm looking for right now. And he was like really down for it. We've become really good friends, and we started doing like a little Sunday adventure. So like where we'd go and find new little locations, something a bit weird, interesting. And I take my camera and we just like try and get a few little shots together. But I saw these reflections and I saw this beautiful like writing of the cafe in the reflection.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it all looked very French, an inch pastry. Yeah. And I said, like, Max, will you just go and sit in the window and just like stare out? And he already dresses great.
Beautiful,
so there was no styling needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I literally maybe took like 3 photos and that was it.
They're beautiful. I love those.
No, we were actually in his apartment, and I just thought this little apartment was like crazy because I hadn't moved to London yet.
Okay.
And I was like, it was in like, it was West London, so I got like this love for West London quite quickly. Yeah, it was just kind of like how I imagine these like young musicians that come to London, like working in the pubs.
This is how they live.
This is like how they live, and it was kind of like the story created itself. I think when you meet someone, you kind of have that infatuation with them. There's that kind of intimacy as well, and that's why that picture worked so well.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Because like we had connected throughout the day, and we were both kind of looking in the mirror. And I think there was 2 photos. I'm not sure which one you've selected, but there was one of me with my camera, and you can see it in the background. I don't think you're in this one. It's just quiet. Just him. Properly for the first time, seeing how they live such like a crazy life. It
felt really vulnerable, the image, actually, but in a beautiful way. Like you were in his
sat and talked for hours before taking those photos, and it was a really great day actually. And I think we'd had quite a few drinks.
Yeah.
That was at night time. We'd been shooting the whole day.
Okay.
So we'd been going around London and kind of like taking pictures here, there and everywhere. So by the time we got back to his apartment, it was kind of like, oh, we're a little bit tipsy.
Yeah. It's fun though. It just looks like you were just having a really nice time and you just captured a moment. I really liked it.
That was it. That was it. No plan. And sometimes that's when the best
stuff,
happen.
like the magic comes out. And I'm literally going to end on a question I have from my sister.
Yay! Your sister's name?
Summer.
Okay.
Summer.
Oh, it's perfect for season.
Okay, so my sister's turning 13 and she wanted to ask you what she should wear to her party.
Oh, girl,
13-year-old
what character
girl.
do you want to be? Is she a young 13 or an
No,
old 13?
she's like 13 going on 35.
What party is it?
It's her birthday party.
It's her birthday
She's
party.
not with any. All her friends are coming. She's just.
So I'd say go crazy on the necklaces.
Yeah.
I always go for the accessories. I mean, you can wear the most casual kind of black outfit, put loads of accessories, and it will look chic.
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy hair, a little bit of black eye makeup, and look at Carrie Bradshaw or watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
Anyway, thank you for your answer.
That's okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Fun.
Well, us, like there's anyone here, but there will be.
Yeah,
and this is the first interview.
And I hope you enjoy watching
or
listening.
We hope it's recorded. Honestly, it could not be.
Anyway, amazing. We're gonna go for a drink.
We're gonna go for a drink now. But thank you so much.
Oh, you smell delicious.
Thank you.
Ooh.
It's fracas. I don't know how to. It's
Oh, that's
Isabella
Blow. What's your signature
what's your scent? What's your scent? I love these questions. These are the questions I'd want to ask.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'd be like,
what's your scent?
How do you take your coffee?
Yeah, what do you like to eat in the
My
morning?
signature scent used to be Tom Ford Black Orchid.
Oh, I love this though.
Yeah, and then it started smelling too much like my nights out.
Oh, yeah. It started smelling like being sick the next morning. Yeah.
So now it's this beautiful little perfume that comes from a perfumery in South France.
Nice.
And it's the same perfumery that Henry Matisse's muse used to buy her perfume from. And I can give you the name if you like.
Yeah, go on.
It's Maison Godet. And it's in St. Paul de Vence.
Lovely.
And I take my coffee black, by the way.
What's your go-to drink? Let's do that all.
Oh, the go-to drink on a night out.
Yeah, go on. Wine.
I'm a massive wine drinker.
Rose. She's a rosé girly. Sparkling
with ice. It's terrible. Don't get me started.
You know how
I would be cancelled.
You get really drunk on rosé too.
Guys, let's retract that. I drink whiskey.
I drink whiskey over ice. That's what I drink when I go out.
Really, you're way too cool.
No,
that's so cool. Are you joking?
No, I do.
I need to get a new drink.
Or I do. I like a marg. Now a
Guinness gal. Yeah.
So just give her a fucking anything. Okay, we'll end this here.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye. Oh my god, how weird.